Desert Diaries. Week 23. Hello, Arizona calling. This week, I've really noticed how busy Phoenix has become. Now, there's a saying amongst locals here, how do you know when it's fall in Phoenix? Because the number plates change colour. Meaning that once autumn starts, all the people who live elsewhere in the raging heat of the summer return from other states, which of course all have different coloured number plates on their cars, and they settle back into Phoenix until late spring next year. Now, I've talked about the Snowbirds before. They're the generally older people who live in the American Midwest and the Northeast coastal states, and they all fly south and move to Phoenix to avoid the snow. Well, they are here, and as I said, it's really busy. Now, there was also police line fun this week as I got stopped from walking over the road to my own house for an hour as Vice President Mike Pence was in town. Now, you should have seen the motorcade that came with his visit. I think every police car within Arizona was part of it. It took about 10 minutes to drive past in total, with Mike somewhere in the midst of it all. I had a very grumpy 8-year-old with me who just wanted to go home. So I asked one of the officers how long it was going to be. And he said, "I don't know, ma'am. He's just visiting one of his friends. He could be some time." Imagine holding up a whole town because you popped your mates for your tea. Also this week, I took a deep breath and dived into the utterly confusing world of the American healthcare system. Man alive, it is tough in there. Now, as the girls are on fall break, that's half term to you and me, I decided it was time to go and check them out and see a dentist and get their eyes tested as well. Now, we pay a fair old chunk of insurance each month, and my husband's company chips in as well. There is still a huge whack that you need to pay. Not so much to actually see the doctor, but to get any sort of treatment done or anything slightly above the norm. Now, my glasses, for example, cost probably a couple of £100 maximum in my local optician in the UK. Here the bill was $1,400. Now, a lot of that is covered by insurance, but it's still shocking. The dentist was even worse. I took the girls to a local dentist to be seen. I was then told it was not in network for my healthcare provider. What? Now, it was on a list of dentists on the website of our insurance company. Ah, yes, they said, but you've got an HMO, not a PPO plan. You need to go and get a referral from the dentist you've been assigned, and then you can come and see us. HM what? Who's my assigned dentist? And blimey, could this be any more complicated? Don't get me started on booking an appointment with your doctor, where for a checkup you need a well appointment versus a sick appointment, which costs completely different amounts. It's really interesting to talk to Americans about their system, though, as some are really defensive about it. Well, if people have got bad insurance, it's their fault. They should get a job with good insurance, said one person I spoke to. Now, I pointed out this is all very well if your parents could afford to send you to college in the first place and you have the sort of job that gives you good health insurance. But arguments like that don't go down very well. Another man I spoke to said he couldn't bear to have, and I quote, a socialist system like you have in the UK. He said he'd refuse to pay his taxes if he knew that his dollars were going to pay for other people's families' healthcare. Now, I pointed out you could argue that his hard-earned dollars are actually lining the pockets of multi-billion-dollar insurance firms instead. And actually, he ended up paying more for his family's healthcare than we do for our families through our taxes in the UK. But again, he was happier with the system in the US. I should say there are lots of Americans who think the whole system's terrible, where vast swathes of society are left to manage their own health as best they can. But I can't see it changing anytime soon. It's not to say everyone's experience of the NHS is perfect, of course, but blimey, it just feels a lot less complicated to get the care you need when you need it. Put it this way, if you've seen the show Breaking Bad, after dipping my toe in the US healthcare system this week, I now understand why Walter White did what he did. Has anyone got a spare RV I can borrow? I'll see you in the desert.